welcome back. In this video, I'm going to narrate to you a very famous children's story and one of the very favorite stories of kids, The Clumsy Crocodile, written by Felicity Everett. So let's move into the story. Are you guys ready? We have 6 chapters in this book, and the character is Cassy Green, a crocodile. Now I'm going to read out the story for you, and please let me know in the comment box how much you've liked the story. The Chapter 1, Everglades. Cassy Green was on her way to work. It was the very first day of her new job. She was going to work at Everglades, the biggest and best store in town. It sold things you just couldn't buy anywhere else. So, when Cassy got a job there, she was as pleased as Punch. First, Cassy was sent to work on the China department. After only 10 minutes, she had sold 60 cups and saucers to a very rich lady. She was doing well. Cassy packed the china carefully into a box. She was as gentle as a crocodile can be, but maybe just a little slow. The lady began to get impatient. Cassy quickly tied a big bow on the box. She didn't want the lady to be cross, not her very first customer. But as Cassy picked up the box, disaster struck. She'd packed it upside down. 60 cups and saucers smashed onto the floor. The customer stamped her foot angrily and left. Oops. Next, Cassy was sent to the toy department. She hoped there was less to break. She didn't want any more accidents. I must put this ball away, she thought. Someone could trip over it and have a bad fall. But as she bent down, her tail swung out behind her. The Toy Town Express was knocked right off its rails. So she was sent to the food hall. But there, things went from bad to worse. Cassy tripped over a stool. The bowl of salad flew into the air and landed on Ernest Everglade's head. Ernest Everglade owned the department store. He was Cassy's boss, and he was not a happy man. "Go to my office," he yelled. "Now!" Trembling, Cassy obeyed. Chapter 2, A Cross Boss. Ernest Everglade was furious. He liked the salad, but not on his head. "Go and don't ever come back," he told Cassy. "I don't want a clumsy crocodile in my store." Cassy begged and pleaded. She pleaded and begged. "Just give me one more chance. I'll be very careful," she promised. But Mr. Everglade was more interested in his newspaper. He wasn't even listening to Cassy. At last he looked up. "I don't have time for you," he sighed. "Some jewel thieves are in town, the famous Greedy Boys." Cassy gasped. Everyone had heard of the Greedy Boys, but she still wanted her job back. She began to cry. Now, Mr. Everglade couldn't stand crying. He would do anything to stop it. Okay, he said. "Go to the luxury goods department first thing Monday morning." "Okay, thank you. You won't regret it, I promise." Chapter 3, Getting It Right. The next day was Sunday. Cassy worked hard at home getting ready for Monday. She emptied her cupboards and stacked everything inside them. She stacked everything. Hiding behind the pot were Nigel and Rupert, the greedy boys. "What a beauty!" sighed Nigel. "But look at that case," said Rupert. "How will we ever break the glass?" "Never fear," Nigel whispered. And as Cassy wandered away from the emerald, Nigel took something from his pocket. Chapter 5 Disaster. Nigel held up a small whistle. "My secret weapon," he said. "It can't be heard by humans, but it can." He put the whistle to his lips and blew. The case exploded. "Shattered glass," he finished. He grinned. The Everglades Emerald was theirs for taking. "At last," gasped Rupert. "I can't wait to get my hands on it." Nigel and Rupert sneaked out from their hiding place. Their eyes glittered with greed. "Now to collect our prize," said Nigel. "We'll be the richest men in the world." The thieves crept closer to the emerald, but Nigel had made a big mistake. He was right about humans not being able to hear his whistle. What he didn't know was that animals could hear it. "Hey," thought Cassy, "the Toy Town Express." She spun round ready to race to the toy department, forgetting her tail, which swung round too. This time it hooked a priceless pearl necklace. Cassy tugged her tail. The necklace snapped. Pearls went everywhere and Cassy went flying. So did the greedy boys. The rolling pearls sent them skidding to the floor. They tumbled to the ground, bringing the Everglades Emerald with them. Cassy turned to see the greedy boys lying in a heap. "Oh no, customers!" she cried and rushed over to help them up. "Please let me help, I'm so sorry." Rupert was groaning in agony. Nigel still had his eye on the emerald. He wouldn't let a clumsy crocodile ruin his plans. He'd waited years to steal this giant gem. "I'm black and blue all over. It can still be mine. It has to be." In her hurry to help, Cassy tripped. She slid across the floor, her arms thrust out, and collided nose first with a table which had Everglades' ancient treasures. The table wobbled, the treasures wobbled, then they crashed to the floor. Cassy got up. She was horrified. What had she done? One of the ancient pots had toppled off the table, straight onto her customers' heads. "What's going on in here?" At that moment the boss walked in. Cassy started to explain, but Mr. Everglade wasn't listening. My tail, I slid down." He had just seen the Everglades Emerald lying on the floor. What's that doing there? Then he saw the pot and the legs and the bag lying next to them, and he quickly put two and two together. He was no longer a cross boss. He was very pleased. He picked up the emerald and beamed at Cassy. "Well done. You've saved the Everglades Emerald." Cassy was puzzled. Mr. Everglade pointed to the pot. "And you've caught the greedy boys," he added. "Oh, so I have," said Cassy. Chapter 6 Cassy the Hero. That afternoon the boss gave a party for Cassy. The whole town was invited, except for the greedy boys. Nigel and Rupert were both safely behind bars. It was the best party ever. There was singing and dancing, cake and ice cream, and fantastic fizzing fireworks. Then Cassy was given a medal. It was the proudest moment of her life. She was a hero. After the party, Mr. Everglades smiled at Cassy. "I've got a new job for you," he said. He didn't want Cassy to be an assistant anymore. Instead, she became Everglades' chief taster and tester, with her tail tucked firmly beneath her. So, kids, that's the tale of the clumsy crocodile. And do let me know your comments in the comment section below. Hope you've all enjoyed the story. I'll be back with another session another day. Till then, take care and see you. Bye.